Dear students, welcome back. How are you all? Hope that you are fine. This lecture is actually a continuation of my previous lecture on modifier. So let's move on to our topic. Students, let's have a recap of modifier. In my previous lecture, I have given you the definition of modifier. A modifier is a word or word group or phrase that makes the meaning of another word or word group more specific. In other words, we can say that a modifier describes, limits, or adds the meaning of another word. Now, notice the definition of modifier. A modifier describes a word more specifically. It limits the meaning of the word, or sometimes it adds something more to the meaning of that word. It modifies. As I have told you that there are two types of modifiers according to their position. One is pre-modifier and the another is post-modifier. Pre-modifier comes before the word it modifies, and a post-modifier comes after the word it modifies. I have two examples for you. One is, he is a meritorious student. Here the word meritorious is used before the noun student and it describes about the student. The second one is, the man working in the field is industrious. Here the phrase working in the field is used after the noun phrase the man and tells us something more about the man. So it's an example of post modifier. Students, in our previous lecture, we were discussing about different types of pre-modifiers. Today, we will know about some more words that are used as pre-modifier. Let's start. Now, participle as pre-modifier. We use two types of participles as modifier. One is present participle and the other is past participle. At first, present participle as pre-modifier. You can form present participle by adding ing with the base form of the verb. Please note that we normally add ing to the base form of the verb to form the sentences of continuous tenses. So, a present participle is considered to be a modifier when it is used as an adjective before a noun, not as the verb of continuous tenses. Here I have two examples for you. Don't get into a running bus. The baby cried for the dancing dolls. In the first sentence, the word running tells us the condition of the bus, and in the second sentence, the word dancing tells us about the kind of doll the baby cried for. So these two words, running and dancing, are used in these sentences as adjective and modify the two nouns bus and doll. Now, past participle as pre-modifier. Past participle are nothing but the past participle form of the main verb. You again have to keep in mind that we usually use past participle form of the main verb to form passive sentences or sentences of perfect tenses. So, a past participle form of the verb is considered to be a modifier when it is used as an adjective in the sentence to tell us the status of the noun, not to form passive sentences or sentences of perfect tense. Here I have also two examples for you. Number one, this is a restricted area. Number two, you should not drink polluted water. In the first sentence, the word restricted tells us about the kind of area, and in the second sentence, the word polluted tells us what kind of water you should not drink. Here, the word restricted is the past participle form of the verb restrict, and the word polluted is the past participle form of the verb pollute. But they are used here before the nouns area and water only to modify them. So here the word restricted is a pre-modifier of the noun area and the word polluted is a pre-modifier of the noun water. Now adverb as pre-modifier. Students, you know that adverb usually modifies verbs and adjectives. but sometimes it also appears before a noun and modifies the noun. Let's clarify it with some examples. Number 1. The then secretary was an efficient man. Here the adverb then is used before the noun secretary and it modifies or tells something more about the noun secretary. In the second sentence, she is quite happy. Here the word or the adverb quite is used before the adjective happy and tells us something more about that adjective. Number 3. He occasionally invites me. In this sentence, the adverb occasionally is used before the verb invite and it limits the meaning of the word invites. It tells us how often I am invited by him. That is occasionally. So here, adverb occasionally is used as a pre-modifier of the verb. Now, noun adjective as pre-modifier. In our previous lecture, we came to know that sometimes a noun comes before the noun and acts like an adjective and modifies the second noun. Now we will know about noun adjective. Noun adjective is actually a combination of three words where there is an adjective first and then there are two consecutive nouns. I will make it clear by giving you two examples. Number 1, Fox's Bazaar is a favorite tourist destination. Here in this sentence, the word favorite is an adjective and tourist and destinations are two separate nouns. Favorite here is used before the nouns tourist and destination and used as an adjective of the two nouns. So, we understand that a noun adjective is a kind of modifier where an adjective is used before two consecutive nouns. In the second sentence, he bought a nice color pen. Here, the word nice is an adjective and the words color and pen are two nouns. Here, the adjective nice is used before two separate nouns color and pen and it modifies the nouns. So, it is used as a noun adjective here. Intensifier as pre-modifier. Intensifiers are adverbs or adverbial phrases that strengthen the meaning of other expressions and show emphasis. Words commonly used as intensifiers are so, very, extremely, highly, etc. Dear students, please note that intensifiers are actually adverbs and I have already discussed about the use of adverb as pre-modifier in my previous slide. The reason why I am discussing about intensifier separately here is that very often you are asked to use intensifier in your exam. Let's see the example. Number 1, his songs are very melodious. Number 2, all her dresses are so beautiful. Here in the first sentence, the adverb very is used before the adjective melodious and it tells us the intensity of the melody of his songs. And in the second sentence, the word so or the adverb so is used before the adjective beautiful and it tells us the degree of the beauty of all her dresses. So in both the cases, the adverbs very and so are used to intensify the effect of the adjectives, so they are called intensifiers. Well, dear students, so far I have tried to give you some basic concepts on pre-modifier. Now it's your turn to check it out how far you have understood about pre-modifiers. I have some sentences for you. I have underlined the head words or the words that are modified and highlighted the pre-modifiers with red color. Now write down the names of the pre-modifiers in the following sentences. Thank you. Thank you very much. Stay at home and stay safe.